I'm not sure if really anything warrants banning though from either side at this point though.
Yeah, so Alistar being banned, that's always warranting a ban.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
but
I mean, from the last game, you know, Kennen, Probably he plays Kennen so many times. It's kind of weird to let him have Kennen. He can control games very easily, but you know, there were a number of mistakes from Probably and from his team, so they could leave Kennen open. You know, Shen has that kind of potential too. They could decide to ban out a Shen. You know, we'll see if they just kind of decide to go with the same stuff.
So Twisted Fate going to be next one coming through. But here's the Alistar. 4Not, you know, Legion banned Alistar last game. 4Not stole it from him, so it's kind of like forcing them to try, you know, change up their banning process. Throw in a ban that they normally would not put, you know, that they wouldn't put in because, you know, they had one of their bans stolen. But 4Not, you know, the Malphite going to be next on the roster. So Nocturne's still open, Janna's still open, Morgana's still open. There's still a lot of options. May very well go with the same bans last time, but, you know, as you're saying, Kennen could be expected here. From 4Not.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. Legion banning out, you know, they will probably stick with the same stuff as last time. So Janna makes sense. Karthus being banned, yeah, that's a strong ban. You know, Karthus, the damage that Karthus had late game almost, you know, single-handedly won them that last game. So Karthus and Singed, even though Singed was shut down early, so yeah, get rid of that pick. That's fine.
And there's the Nocturne. Not going to have him in the jungle either. So Morgana or Janna, for sure. At least one of them is going to be left open this game as opposed to last game. And there's the thing though, you don't want to be even though Takashi X still
not Takashi X, but
it's not Takashi X. So there's a risk to leave Morgana open, but you could.
Morgana is still a pretty easy champion though. So Trixie playing instead of Takashi X. Morgana can just win most matchups. So they're going to be fine with leaving the Morgana open. It's not like it's going to insta-win for them. And 4Not actually going to grab Urgot.
Breaking the gentleman's agreement.
You know, that was for game 1. I don't know if they had that agreement for game number 2. They'd have to discuss that. But yeah, that may or may not be the case.
This you know, they're 4Not's looking aggressive. They want the Urgot. There's a lot of discussion going on in the lobby beforehand. How you know. A lot of members of 4Not just saying, you know, Urgot is very much in the same vein as Yorick, how he's just kind of anti-fun at this point. And
I think he's a lot of fun. I like Urgot. Urgot is a lot of fun. He's just, I don't know, he's just really good. He's anti-fun in the respect that he's good.
Instead, going for the Shen. They're still going to honor the agreement, and they're still going to go for, you know, you're going to grab the Shen first, keep it out of Legion's hands, and still undecided. Top lane, jungle, don't quite know yet.
Yeah, so they have a number of options, but it's probably going to be into that top lane. You know, Brad, he could play the Shen, but, well, I don't know, we'll have to see. They just kind of didn't want Cruiser to be able to play Shen again if it shuts down anything that they want to do. So, I don't know, we'll have to see. Cruiser, he can, you know, play a number of standard AP carries that he does, like Vladimir, or, you know, any of his bruisers. He plays any number of champions. Darius would work well. Well, Draven right now is kind of an unusual pick, but Soraka's open. They could decide to go with the Soraka, or if they want to go with a more aggressive lane, they go with Vladimir. So Vladimir, you know, is one of those champions that Cruiser is just really strong with, can just easily carry games by himself. And then the Nunu can either go in the bottom lane or for the jungle. So Legion, one of the few teams starting that jungle Nunu again. Yeah,
I can imagine Nunu's more likely going to be going into jungle. But once we see the AD pick for Legion, we'll know whether that's for sure or not. Because there are a bunch of ADs that can really, you know, mesh well with Nunu. Not all, but a lot of them do. But more than likely going to be seeing Nunu in the jungle, specifically for Legion. So still considering there's a gentleman's agreement, guys. There you go. No more Urgot. So Ezreal going to be for sure on the 4Not, and they're still considering their other pick here.
Yeah. So maybe the Urgot and run a double AD. Could they do that? The double AD with the Urgot? Yeah. So I mean, we'll see. Shen in the top lane against Vladimir. It is a pretty even matchup. Shen does win that in the early phase, and then he has enough burst damage where he can, you know, try and harass down Vladimir. The issue is he can't usually kill someone from 100 to 0. He's better as a sustain. So we'll see if they send Shen top, or if they want to send a more aggressive laner top lane, because usually against Vladimir, you don't want to try and win the sustain war. You want to try and win just a quick burst damage and try and go for kills. So we'll see. But they go with the Ezreal Leona, so really aggressive bottom lane. They have a lot of options, though. They Legion, you know, they could go with something like Misfortune and have that combo with Nunu. That would work very well against Ezreal, or like a Graves.
Now, in light of this, you know, super aggressive bot lane, would it still be an idea? Would it still be favorable to possibly look at Nunu support with an AD down bot in light of this?
Yeah, I mean, it would still be fine. The big thing is they would come in for their burst damage, and then you shut down some of their damage. They would have to play a little bit more defensively, but they could go with a Graves, and that would be fine. He'd be tanky enough. And then, once they jump in for their burst damage, Nunu throws off the snowball, and now, Ezreal's just not dealing enough damage anymore. And then Graves can turn it around, win that fight. So it forces them to play kind of defensively. They have a great AoE team. With the Nunu, and actually picking up the Rumble potentially. That'd be kind of interesting, and maybe sending Vladimir in the mid lane, but Soraka. So yeah, it's actually Soraka, does shut down the kill lane a little bit more easily. You don't have to worry quite so much about the burst, so they go with Graves Soraka.
Soraka, Graves, pretty much sealing the deal that Nunu is going to be in the jungle here. So you got 4Not. They still have to establish their mid lane. And, wherever Shen's going to be, will be either in the top lane or in the jungle. They got those last picks there as well. Graves. And actually, it's also still not quite clear where Vladimir's going either. He could go top. He could go mid. Not quite sure yet. Aurelia being considered for the top lane on Martel.
Yeah, he's probably going to be going top. And Aurelia does work well against Vladimir. So, Vladimir can farm against Aurelia. He does have to worry about the burst potential that Aurelia has and just Aurelia diving for kills. But we'll have to see. I think they're going to be comfortable with that matchup. And then switching something else for the mid lane. They could end up going Vladimir mid, though, and Rumble top.
Morgana is open to Anivia. Actually, is working not too bad either.
It wouldn't be a bad decision for them to go Rumble top, because Rumble can work very well against Aurelia, can win that matchup. And then Vladimir can just farm against Anivia. So Anivia, she has some aggression, but Vladimir can kind of avoid it. It's not that big of a deal. So Vladimir can just sit there, free farm in the mid lane, turn it into a free farm lane, and then have just a massive AoE team.
Ooh, Swain. That's the thing, though. They are on purple side, so if Swain was to go top, he would not have quick access to the blue. But if he is mid, he can do pretty fine on his own. Go past it on occasion. Go Swain. Actually, no, hey, Morgana is open. Is available. Could go with that. Ooh, there you go, though. There's been a lot of Kassadin play coming in from Legion, and is a pretty good evasive maneuvers around those walls that Nivea has to offer as well. So we'll see how that works. Kassadin a pretty favored AP mid for Legion.
They're one of the few teams that I know that just plays Kassadin all the time. And Prawley has been crushing the games he's been able to play Kassadin. He has that late game scaling very easily. He can snowball very well. He works well against Anivia, against some of that burst. But we'll have to see. Anivia does have the harass advantage. The silence for Kassadin, if Anivia throws off the Flash Frost, you throw off the silence. You'll still get hit by the Flash Frost, but Anivia won't be able to activate the stun. So it just flies right over you. So it's not really that big of a deal. So we'll have to see how that kind of works. And Shen, as a jungler, he's not very strong at counter jungling, so they probably don't have to worry about their blue getting stolen at any point in the game. Kassadin can just constantly control the blue. Nunu has that nice jungle control, so Kassadin can constantly have those blues and just try and pick up a bunch of kills. I mean, imagine last game, with Kennen 16-4 or whatever, if Kassadin was able to snowball off of that. So 16-4 Kassadin versus a 16-4 Kennen, that's a very different story.
Yeah. Well, not to mention, you do have Kassadin that's, that Q that is an innate silence as well. So that could actually, cancel out really a lot of what 4Not could be doing right here as well. Silence on pretty much any one of these characters, with the exception, pretty much everyone shuts down something. You silence Ezreal, he can't escape. You silence pretty much everyone else, and that's a lot of initiation power gone for the moment. But I think, right now, though, Legion, they're going to be playing a little bit passive. They kind of want, 4Not to start making the plays, because there isn't the best initiation in the world really here from Legion. But you can be very defensive. You do have Nunu with the ult. You do have Soraka with the heals. And everyone is semi-mobile here.
Yeah, they have a very defensive team. And the big thing is they want 4Not to bring the fight to them. They'll throw up the Nunu ult and then just kind of all huddle behind it for warmth, despite the cold. But
it's a warm little Yeti.
Yeah, so they can just do that fine. It's like Star Wars and Luke and the
but
Yeti.
I don't want to be cutting him open though. That Yeti can be extremely useful at eating a lot of things.
Nunu can handle it.
Nunu can handle it. He's
But
big. He's a big boy.
they can do that. And, that'll be fine. The big thing is when you play a defensive team, you need to get off to a good start. So you can't fall behind early, and you need to win your lanes and be able to farm your lanes. Otherwise, the other team, because they have the aggressive team, they can force fights on you and just constantly win team fights. So as a defensive team, you need to always be ahead since you don't have the ability to force fights. With that being said, Shen doesn't have the best ganks. Most of their lanes are safe. They should be okay. The big lanes to watch out for are going to be, top lane with Aurelia diving on Vladimir, and then bottom lane with the kill combo against Soraka and Graves. But Soraka and Graves should be okay as long as they play it right.
Yeah. So and Graves also is going to be shoved just so much mana into his pool as well. He can do a pretty good job farming from a distance as well. Just the occasional buckshot, and just dash away to evade all the harass from Ezreal, if any. Lino is also going to be looking for those engagements as well. Actually, Leona going for the exhaust heal. No flash on the support here for 4Not.
Yeah, it's a really aggressive summoners, which is kind of surprising because it's not going to allow them that disengage. We'll try and figure out what's going on here for a second. But it's interesting because Leona already, she's a very aggressive champion, but if she gets out of position or something or goes down, then she's not going to be able to get out of there. Like, she's just going to die. So not having a flash in Leona, it puts her in a dangerous spot. So we'll see how that's going to work. I expect that Graves and Soraka are mostly going to be pushing Ezreal and Leona into the tower. That's one of the nice things with that lane is just the constant mana spam on Graves. Graves can just control the front line, just constantly push the waves underneath the tower. Deny some that farm. They will be okay there. So, we'll have to see how it works. It's heal exhaust. It does give you a little bit more kill potential. It gives you a little bit more fighting potential. You can do a duel with anyone and come out on top. But not having that flash, it could be kind of dangerous. They don't have an ignite either, I don't think. Or actually, I'm guessing Ezreal probably has the ignite. But
yeah.
We'll have to see. I don't know if they can get any early kills, they could snowball pretty easily.
So there's a little bit of a quick remake. I guess there's a little bit of a connection issue in the first few opening minutes of the game. Granted, yeah. If which, by the way, if you ever come across as yourself, if you're spectating a game straight in on the front, and you just don't even go in, it means everyone left within the first 3 minutes. You need to remake, get everybody back arranged, and everyone's just slowly making their way back on into the game. If you're just joining us now, or if you happen to forget, we're going to go ahead and refresh the picks and bans for you as well. 4Not banning out Alistar, Malphite, Nocturne, Legion banning out Twisted Fate, Karthus, and Janna. 4Not picking up Shen, Leona, Ezreal, Anivia, and Aurelia. Legion running Nunu, Vlad, Soraka, Graves, and Kassadin. Legion really enjoying that Kassadin play. They're as we mentioned before, one of the few times I actually run the cast. But and hopefully, this game will go 55 minutes.
Yep. So here we are in the champs league.
I said that.
We'll be able to check that out. It's the banning phase, so hopefully they don't ban out their own champions. Yep. Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. They'll be okay.
The big thing is it's not going to be a 55-minute game. It's either going to be a quick 25, 30-minute win for 4Not, or if it gets much past that, then Legion's just going to take control. So we'll see what it ends up being. They have a really nice AoE team, and so 4Not, they have the CC where they can control some things. Legion a little confused here, but if 4Not, if they can use their burst to just pick up a Kassadin kill or a Vladimir kill very quickly, that would be fine. But the big thing with Legion's team, and the reason they run this kind of a team, is that Kassadin and Vladimir, they're both very difficult to take down just naturally. And having the Soraka as well, it's tough to burst down any of these members, and then they have really great sustain damage. So as the game progresses, they can pick up kills left and right very easily. Aurelia, also a big issue. If Aurelia gets too tanky, then Aurelia can just, shut down one of their carries. And Aurelia late game is just really nasty.
Yeah, Aurelia, I mean, there's a reason for a very long time why, actually, especially during the EU scene, before the nerfs to her sustain, just Aurelia was seeing banned pretty much every game in most tournaments. But, she's still a threat. Once she gets huge, she still has amazing sustain on her own. The ult is an amazing wave clearing with utility as well in case they just get pushed in, or if they even want to split push, really. But then if there's going to be any split pushing for 4Not, it's actually going to be coming in from the Shen instead. And Shen, I think, also going flashless, looking for the exhaust smite instead of the usual flash. So there's a lot of aggression coming in from 4Not. You also got Demon Wall here, going for the Ghost Ignite. Ghost Flash wants to be able to get away from those team fights pretty quickly as well. But yeah, 4Not is definitely looking for these kills when they go in.
Yeah, so we'll see who can pull this out on top. Trixie, I'm excited to see how you fill in for Takashi X. Takashi X is the man. Unfortunately, his land center, something's wrong with it. I don't know. We'll see. He ran out of quarters, probably, like I said earlier. But, yeah, they have a really nice CC team. And Anivia can win almost any matchup. Kassadin is very short range, but he's going to kind of be walking into that kill range. So if Legion can't get things going, then Kassadin's putting himself out of position where 4Not can just try and burst him down and, have the Aurelia run in with the stun, have Leona, have, Anivia, any number of champions, and then they just quick get that burst down. That could be really dangerous for Legion, but if they can snowball, Legion always has a chance. So we'll have to see. But Anivia is just a killer in the mid lane. I mean, Anivia is almost unstoppable at times.
The thing is, though, Cass, and he's really got a rough road ahead of him as well for most matchups. I mean, he really gets to his best when he hits 6, when he has his Rift Walk, when he's actually able to go ahead, maneuver around team fights, be that much more mobile, go visit other lanes as well. And it's just a very, arduous grind just to get from, through 1 through 5 intact sometimes against some matchups. So hopefully you can get there fine and unscathed.
Yeah, and this is one of those matchups because Anivia has the auto attack harass. Anivia is really strong with auto attack harass, has the nice range, and then if Kassadin tries to turn it in, Anivia can try and get off that stun and get us some quick burst damage. But even so, Kassadin usually is okay. You can play defensively. You can farm some with your Q. Once he gets the blue buff, that's when he's really dangerous. Having the 6 and the blue buff, the constant Q spam with the silence, we'll have to see how that's going to kind of work.
And yes, I'm just also thinking this now as well. I'm not sure. Even if Latimoris does come in for these ganks onto Anivia in the mid, I don't think that unless Trix gets really out of position, that probably Latimoris will actually have enough damage to take down the egg efficiently now.
Yeah, that is a concern, but I don't know. They should have enough. It's going to be kind of close. But usually you see Kassadin paired with a more aggressive jungler like a Nocturne or something where you get the silence and then Nocturne follows up for the kill. You're right. Nunu doesn't have quite that same potential, so that is kind of an issue. I think it will be kind of interesting also Dragon Control with the mobility that they have. The fact that Shen is kind of a slow jungler. Nunu, he could maybe try and counter jungle Shen a little bit. Run in with the consume. Now with some of those changes, some of those buffs.
Just eat the blue wraith in one bite.
Right. Yeah. So that's definitely a potential there to try and slow down Shen.
So we'll see how it goes. And Nunu, for a very long time, the consume was really a big part of his kit, way back when, even though it was only a year, when it's just you just walk up and this is when counter jungling wasn't too prevalent. This is also during the old jungle as well, where just if you managed to get counter jungling happening, it was really devastating to an enemy team.
Yeah, no, he's always been a lot of fun as far as counter jungling. It's not as much of an issue now because of the jungling changes. One minion doesn't really quite mean as much. The big blue wraith, since it's so much more significant than the rest of the race, it can mean a lot. Or if you steal a buff, that's huge. But generally speaking, it's okay. So we'll have to see how that's going to kind of work out. Vladimir versus Aurelia, again, a really common matchup. Vladimir wins first couple of levels. Aurelia, after a couple of levels, will take control and then tries to get kills. But Vladimir, just wants to sit back, just wants to farm. Should be pretty safe. And Cruiser, every time I see him play Vladimir, he just has so much control. I don't know if I've seen him lose as Vladimir. He's just such a strong player in that top lane. So, we'll have to see whether or not he can take advantage of that. Shen in the jungle, the big thing for Shen is just control jungling and then avoiding ganks, so teleporting for your team. But they don't really have any ganks to worry about from Nunu that much. So Nunu's ganking is pretty weak. As a result, that could leave Shen up to maybe try some ganking of his own.
When again, this is a support jungler. The junglers that Legion really likes to run. They really like to run these kind of junglers, but it relies a lot on the damage from the lane to just go ahead and make the best out of all the situations.
I want to see another 5-kill level 1 fight.
That would be extremely entertaining. I would love to see that once again, but I'm with this team, I'm not so sure. I don't know.
Oh, let's all pretend to pick Urgot again. That's fantastic. Yeah, we'll have to see if this game's getting underway. But
and we loaded in, so at least went to the 3-minute mark.
Yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully the issues are resolved. Regardless, I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see how aggressive Martel can be in the top lane because Singed is a very passive farmer. The last game, we saw him lose the lane very quickly to Cruiser, and Shen and Vladimir kind of play similarly early on. You want to just get off that constant harass. Vladimir could try and wear down Aurelia early before Aurelia gets any of that killing potential. And since Vladimir farmed, or if he gets any early advantage, can be pretty abusive in the lane. That'd be kind of interesting to see. So I would like to see Martel come out and just be really aggressive and try and pick up a couple of kills on Vladimir. But we'll have to see how he works.
And one thing I can tell you right here immediately, Zekin on 4Not, the support, grabbing the boots 2 wards, wants the movement speed. They're probably looking for the invade. They want to make sure they can clear as much distance as they can and get the stun if they can. So with the way they're moving, though, they may, I think they're actually going to be looking for an invade over through top jungle. So they're actually looking for look for a quick boost, a little quick peek on the red, it seems.
Yeah, we'll have to see. They have a number of options. It could just be the pathing that they're taking is kind of weird. They just, click out somewhere out of the fountain. I mean, neither team really has the best level 1, but the level 1 advantage is for 4Not. So for the most part, Legion, they want to play defensively. And so that could result in Graves trying to head over to the top jungle to get up into the tri-bush. So like you said, if he's going to the top jungle, it's probably not for an invade. It's probably for a defensive position. So they're all going to spread out throughout the jungle and not allow 4Not to get any sort of early kills or anything like that. So, that could be key, trying to protect the blue buff for Nunu. But Nunu is pretty safe regardless of what buff he has. So it's not like there's an obvious area where 4Not can just gank, invade and try and steal something.
Yeah, but then again, it's yeah, that's the unfortunate part, is the ambiguity to a lot of junglers. Just they just take whatever paths they really want. Like I think Shyvana also fits in that category, kind of.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of junglers that have that. It's just, I mean, any mana jungler, it's most of the junglers in the game at this point aren't really that buff dependent. Very few are, so not really that big of a deal. But I don't know. We'll have to see. The big thing for both of these champions in the mid is mana control, and both Kassadin and Anivia, the biggest counter to them is just stealing their blue buffs. So I don't know that either of these teams have that kind of pressure where they can steal the blue buff pretty easily. Aurelia is aggressive enough and safe enough early on that they should be able to control their blue buff. Kassadin should be able to have theirs as well with the Soraka and Graves. But if one team can maybe force the other out at around that time, like if bot lane, the Ezreal Leona can force out Graves and Soraka, they could maybe try and go for something. They can maybe try and rush the blue buff if it's around the same timing as the blue. But it's just going to be tough. So we're going to see both champions able to spam a lot. Anivia just going to push Cass underneath the turret to try and deny a lot of that farm, while Kassadin's going to try and just roam.
Oh, already you got Loudon Mortis running on in, wants that quick ward down. Well, they did not manage to clear it, though. In some instances, if there are enough champions there, you can actually go ahead and clear those before it actually manages the advantage, but unfortunately this is not the case.
I'm surprised they didn't get it, because it's usually pretty easy to do with just 2 champions.
I am too, but unfortunately this is not one
of
those cases.
They did reduce the time, though. So that was one of the changes with the wards when they gave it those little 3 health bars and all the timers and everything. They reduced the time for the wards to drop so that you don't have the same issue where you drop a ward and it's instantly killed, because it is pretty easy to... It used to be pretty easy to instantly kill a ward. So that's actually a really nice change. I've really enjoyed that. It allows you to be a little bit more aggressive in the bottom lane. Like, that's the worst, is when you're bottom lane, you try and drop a ward, and they just instantly kill it just because they're paying attention.
So you got Legion's a little bit split here. Nubish actually sticking around with Cruiser here, top lane. Just in case, just for safety, they're doing a good thing in playing the ward role here. But Nubish should be recalling back soon to join with the bot lane. Cruiser's recalling too, but I believe he's going back to get a 4th potion, just so you can have that as at least a nice little bonus in the top lane as well. If you have the opportunity, if you're out like defending for your jungle, just back right before the creeps spawn. Just stick, just stay in your fountain. If you started boots 3 pots, and you actually get a 4th.
Wow. One. So this is really interesting. Anivia is going to be going in the top lane with Aurelia going mid.
Ooh.
And so Aurelia complete switch up for 4Not, Aurelia can shut down Kassadin, and that's the case of most melee bruisers that would go top.
Martel
they
can
be
past the red? No.
No. Oh God, no. No. No jungler at this point in the game would just give up their red that quickly. It would just set them so far behind. Nunu coming in actually to steal the blue, though. He's going to be a little bit out of position. Shen is level 2. He does get it. He does get out of there, so he's going to be fine. But the big thing is melee bruisers, they beat Kassadin in lane. And Aurelia has a little bit of sustain. She can, be very safe in that matchup. But then having the aggression in the melee versus melee, you just dive right at Kassadin, try and focus him out. And because Vladimir is a farm lane, Anivia is fine with just farming up top. Nunu doesn't have aggressive ganks, so Anivia doesn't have to worry about that. Nunu is facing off with Shen, though. Shen taunting into Nunu. He has the red buff. Martel is here, dashing in the exhaust, and Loud Mortis is very close to going down, but they're going to be able to chase him down. The ignite, and he gets the flash, just barely getting out of there.
He's going to be able to get out of safety, but I'm not sure if we'll be able to say the same for Probably, though. The taunt coming, keeping him still. The flash over the wall. Martel flashes in pursuit.
Flash Frost has him.
Nice grab on both of those.
Yeah, and then the follow-up in the bottom lane. Yeah. So the aggression is working out for them. You need to kind of play defensively early on. They weren't able to pick it up. So, yeah, Graves going down.
Nice start for 4Not, man. You got Aurelia looking to mid, looking to get that counter out as well. Already have the 1 kill. That's a lot of extra gold going to be in the pockets. And you see Kassadin already buying defensive, getting the cloth armor. It's going to be really rough for Probably to farm in this, against all this, against this bruiser in mid. He is a melee farmer. Usually he's going to be facing up against range, but he's going to be emptying out his mana pool pretty quickly too if he wants to keep his farm up.
Yeah, and so really quickly, Aurelia able to get that harass with that true damage on the W. That just goes right through that passive on Kassadin. So the passive completely ignored with the physical damage and the true damage. Graves, fortunately, able to get back in time to pick up on all that golden experience as the waves are crashing into the tower. So he's going to be fine there, and Nunu is coming in this top lane. So they will have to watch out. Trixie has to get back because Anivia is very vulnerable to ganks. Nunu, not usually the worst gank, not usually the best ganker. You usually don't have to worry about it, but he's still out of position, and Nunu is running in for it. Will get off the slow, and then has the red buff, the flash, and then the stun as well. He's trying to get out. He should be okay. At the very least, maybe get egged. No, he's going to be fine.
Nice, he'll be fine. He'll be plenty fine. And, like I mentioned before, big concern with Nunu jungle. I was concerned about ganks mid against Anivia because, I was worried about the additional damage output from Probably. But top lane, Cruiser, Vladimir, that's a little bit more damage available. That makes the gank attempts on top a little bit more worthwhile. And actually, there you go. You got the stun coming in down on the demon wall. Once again, Zekin there gets the stun, gets the Q, gets everything pretty nice and easy. And they're just able to just wander on out. They're just able to mosey on back to safety.
But that's the advantage of the sustain lane with Soraka. So they weren't able to get quite enough burst damage. Zekin may be going in once again. He's trying to bait it out, so he does back off.
Actually,
but Demon Lull is back to full health now. And when they came in, the armor buff from Soraka, it kept them alive. They were safe there. Nunu, coming mid, going to exchange some there. But the big thing is not allowing Ezreal to pick up kills. And as long as they can sustain this lane and play defensively, they'll be okay.
But you also noticed that Leona earlier was using the burst on the shield to try and just damage the wave because they know at this point they're being incredibly pushed. Loud Mortis going in once again, trying to get some noms going. But One Bad Bread is there already taking the race. He's already called dibs, probably getting chunked up by Martel. Once again here in the mid, the wave does get the slow, but Aurelia should just be able to walk back to safety.
And Nunu is waiting in the bush for Shen, and Shen actually walking right into him. Level 4 advantage for Nunu, so he can exchange damage with this very easily. The issue is when Martel comes into the situation, so he has to back off. Can't deal with that Aurelia.
Zekin returning to turn lane as well was starting to wander on top to see if there's any help necessary, but unfortunately it is not. The farming continues here. Parole 37, Demon Lull 38. It's still it's bang on even pretty much. The thing is though, Parole does have those Doran's blades. Did go back, did buy both of those, but as we mentioned before though, all the extra harass going down into Demon Lull is just going to be healed up by Inubish. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so 4Not, decent job so far. Those early 2 kills definitely help stabilize the lanes. And, like we said earlier, Legion, they have really defensive lanes. They need to just win and be able to control the lanes early. But Cruiser switching into the mid lane, that's definitely a nice matchup. So Kassadin is able to go into the top lane. He does have to worry about mana. He's not going to be able to get the blue buff at 715 like he would like. Vladimir still has to worry about that burst damage from Aurelia. But Vladimir can get some harass, can farm safely in the mid.
Yeah, but probably he's entering top lane, 29 creeps, but things though, Trix has been kind of equally denied. So it's just more of, returning the lanes to neutral. But as you said, yes, blue will not be available to Probably, but blue will be available to Trix. So this may actually hurt Probably in the long run equally as much as when he was in mid.
Yeah, Probably is going to be constantly pushed into the tower. Nivea can force him back. Demon Law taking some burst damage to the heal. He's going to be fine, so he's going to back off. The big thing is getting Vladimir farmed and, Kassadin, though. So, without the blue, he's not going to be able to get any early kills. He's just going to sit back. He's not going to be as involved in the game. But both of them can farm very safely in their lanes, and, that's the big thing. So around, 12 minutes, we'll probably see them swap up again so that Kassadin can get that second blue. Since since Kassadin's not getting the first one.
So still we're just about to pass the 8-minute mark. Still, those only 2 kills previously. The only credits 4Not gotten, but it's a pretty decent goal lead to have early on. And now here you go. You got the second blues popping up. Lattimore is going to keep it for himself here. Just go keep up the farm, keep up the level advantage. He's got over 1 bad Brad at the moment. Brad actually at the moment taking the Wolves just dinged 5. But Lattimore now I think he's actually going to make a little bit of appearance. That Ezreal ult doing so much. But here comes Nunu. But the presence, he's made himself known. He's just sitting there. Just can Parole and Zeke and...
Yeah, if
Zekin
Zekin had been able to hit that, pull in, then he would have had the ultimate to follow up. They would have killed Inubish almost instantly, and then they would have been able to get out of there. But wasn't able to hit it. No. They still had the Ezreal damage, but they have to back off. Demon Law actually forcing Parole out of lane because he knows, all right, Ezreal is very low on mana. He's not going to be able to exchange with me, and then Soraka's going to heal me back up. So I'm perfectly fine.
Lattimore could be coming in from behind the lane, though. Here's the thing, though. Zekin is camping out this Tribrush, thinks something's up, and there you go. There is the back call coming in. Has been caught out. Zekin, I believe, saw him as he was coming down the road.
Yeah, so they will have to back off, and as a result, Graves can just push this wave right into the tower. They actually are staying around because they don't want to lose that, but because bot is low, it opens up an opportunity for Legion, so they can come into this dragon. They can take that pretty easily, and Legion probably has swapped back down in the bottom lane, or into the mid lane, so that's the nice lane for him. He can get that next blue.
There is a swap in response, though. That's the thing. Trix immediately just went down mid to try and make the best situation, try and force things up. So there's only so much.
They swapped first. So
they did. Yeah.
Nivea doesn't want to lane against Kassadin.
Right. I'm paying too much attention to bot lane here.
And Aurelia is actually going for the reds, so that could be really dangerous for Cruiser in the top lane. Because Aurelia, at this point in the game, Aurelia has enough kill potential to try and pick up some of those kills. She did go with the early gold pretends, but having the red buff, she can't some kills.
Lattimore's right there with the face shake down under the bush, but here comes the Nunu ult, but it will be canceled. Trix is egged.
Yeah, but Martel chasing him away.
Oh, Martel is here, though. Trying to get some damage extra on the Probably. Lattimore is there with the snowball as well. But Cruiser is here. Trix comes back from the egg, full health. Not anything going to happen.
Yeah, now they can back off, and Aurelia can go back into that top lane and now force some pressure against Vladimir. So Vladimir has the regen, not finished with the Hex tech yet, but having the red buff on Aurelia gives just that much more kill potential. She's going to have to wait for her Ignite and her ultimate to be back up. Probably not her Ignite, actually, just her ultimate, and then she can maybe dive Vlad some. He's actually just walking right up. He's just going to take it. So Aurelia walking right up to Vlad, going to jump on him, get some quick damage. He actually throws off the ultimate as he's trying to get out of there. He's getting very low, though. He still has his pull, but just barely is he going to be able to pick this up.
Minions, though, trying to do a little bit of damage to Martel, but it's not going to be enough. And they're just going to go ahead and walk away from each other. Pretty safe, but that is a lot of ults. There's a lot of stuff blown, really. Cruiser's not going to have the ult for a while. The Ignite went down as well. Flash, fortunately, still up, though.
Aurelia just in complete control of that lane. So at this point, it's going to be tough for Cruiser for a second. He needs to play defensively until that red buff is gone because he's just not going to be able to lane against Aurelia. So the red buff was a really great call. Aurelia also has the regen with the ultimate to make those exchanges and then back off.
So you got Probably returning back into the mid, going to be facing up against Trix. But here's the thing, though. Probably now Kassadin's had a little bit of time to farm. He does have the ult. It's going to be a little bit easier than it normally would. But granted, it's still better matchup than Aurelia, frankly. But he's going to be okay. He's working on the Catalyst. He's got the Ruby Crystal. He's got the Sapphire Crystal as well. So looking for the Rod of Ages build on that. In Nivea, you got the Tear, but you also have the Null Magic Mantle. So you may have the Tear and the Chalice for all of that mana regen. Trying, maybe not even need the blue buff.
Kassadin jumping onto Trix gets
Trix
a lot of burst damage.
The ult's down, but there's the Shen ult there to also protect just a little bit more. Probably is forced to flash out to safety. And yeah, Shen ult doing what it does best, protecting your teammates in quick little spaces like that, just there. And also, I don't think oh, real bot lane. There you go, Noobish getting chunked out real quick by Zekin and Parole. Demon Will is still behind there as well. Exhaust and Ignite going down. They're going to grab a second kill there. Lattimore is here with the ult.
Oh,
Stun,
the cancel from Zekin.
punch. But there you go. Probably is coming down, though. Will Zekin be able to get out of there? There's a
Save
snowball.
it for him.
There
Save
is
it for
a,
him.
can you get, oh, there you go. There's another kill for Probably. But now Trix is funneling in on, too. There's a stun. Not going to get anything out. This is juked. But
Yeah,
there's the
Morris
wall.
with the nice dodge.
Parole, Trix trying to still make something of this, but alas, they get to tower safely. Probably with the quick rift walk in, but One Bad Bread is here. Vorpal Blade, something, yes. Parole managing to grab that kill. Can he get out of there? Yes, he will be fine. Trix also has the egg actually isn't even up yet. But Lattimore, if he was there, he had a little bit better positioning. Actually, he could have actually flashed over, I think, got a snowball. But either way, though, the Tribush was warded. They know they're going to be getting away pretty safe and easy. But Noobish and Demon Will are back to return, so One Bad Bread needs to get out of there. Do not screw up this taunt. There you go.
Yeah, so he gets out of there pretty easily. And it's interesting. The heal exhaust is working very well.
Martel,
the flash
though.
from Cruiser, he's able to hit the ultimate, but
And
Martel with the quick flash afterwards.
Yeah.
So really nice job there. And Vladimir, because Aurelia hadn't recalled since their last engage, Aurelia was kind of low. Vladimir was able to take control of that. Aurelia should have the Wit's End now, though. So Wit's End is just so crushing against an AP top. We'll see how that kind of works out for him. But the heal exhaust in the bottom lane has been working very well. And I think the big part of it is that they had the Nunu already. So they knew, all right, we're going against a Nunu jungle. I'll go with the heal exhaust, and he's not going to gank us. I don't usually need to be flashing out of there. I can just be really aggressive. And as a result, they have, the double offensive summoners, basically.
Yeah. He also got One Bad Brad picking up an Oracles for himself. So it's still, I mean, it's not exactly an early Oracles, not only the earliest Oracles you've ever seen, but it's still, right timing, good here. And there's plenty of wards from Legion, ripe for the clearing, ripe for the picking. So it's going to be a good amount of income for 4Not, and a lot of good money denied for Legion as well when he gets around to it. But looks like, probably he's making his way on up to top lane. He's not going to really find anything there, but he's going to just rift walk over through the Baron Pit back to safety. Not like he's really in real danger there. He's just trying to hunt, trying to find if anyone's wandering around. Demon Will and Noobish, though, are still continuing to push down bot. And, in terms of the farm game, though, Parole is actually just really, really taking a commanding lead.
Yeah, Parole is definitely in control of that lane. It's the early aggression from Leona for the most part. Zekin playing fantastically, able to pick up the situations for Parole, with that Leona. Mortis has an Oracles himself, and so the big thing is Mortis, they need the ward coverage to prevent the aggression and not allow 4Not to catch them out of position. 4Not, they need the Oracles because they want to just constantly pressure Legion, so they need to force fights for them, and that helps out. So we'll see what happens. Aurelia sitting in the mid. Nunu is waiting, so I think Nunu is waiting for Aurelia to kind of jump in and harass Kassadin some, catch him out of position, and then chase him down.
Yep, probably. I don't think Martel's actually going to fall for it, though, unfortunately. And there you go.
Oh, he's diving it.
There you go. But there's the Shen ult as well. They want these taunts. They want something happening here. Demon Will is getting chunked out immensely. There's the Soraka heal, the Wish, but not going to be enough. Anubis is also still trapped under tower here. Zekin just goes and waits for the creep wave, get back to safety, does miss the Q, but I think the taunt actually misses as well. But hey, it's still a 3v1 here in bot. He can't deal really.
Yeah, and Nivea goes down in the top lane.
Oh,
yes, they dive in Nivea.
We're going back for a second there. We gotta see that. Mortis was ulting in the bush.
Yeah, I think he thought Trixie was walking into him for a second.
But there you go, Cruiser. It's a three-man gank bot. It's a three-man gank top. What do you expect is gonna happen? There's the egg. Trixie goes down pretty easy.
Yeah, and so they do pick them up. They do get the tower as well. It's very low. Actually, Cruiser, it seems he's leaving it up. So he wants the lane to stabilize. In the meantime, 4Not, they grab the dragon. We'll see if Cruiser actually takes that or not. He's actually just going to walk away. So the big thing, it will go down to the minions. So he's going to get it regardless. But by leaving the tower up, it denies a little bit more experience so that the wave doesn't build up at the next tower so that he can get that advantage over Aurelia. 22 to 20.5, they're actually only a 1.5k down. So despite the 7-2 advantage and the dragon, Mortis gets the slow onto Martel. He has to deal with the Kassadin. They could actually dive this, but they will back off. Mortis tanking a little bit too much.
Yeah, if probably, and actually better Mortis tanking than probably did, because if so, he probably would have been stunned and probably actually could have died there in that attempt. But fortunately enough, though, you force Martel to back. get back to safety. It's going to be a little bit of time for Probably to go ahead and free farm there in the mid. What's Cruiser up to right here? He's going to take in the small golems and then going to be hopefully returning to lane, continue that push, continue the farm. Trixie making his way, grabbing up the jungle creeps himself, but here comes Probably, though, from behind. May actually get a quick gank here, but that Tri-Brush is warded from 4Not, so they know to play defensive. The Ezreal looking to clear the waves, try and bring things back to neutral, and Probably will just go ahead, return sad to mid lane, knowing that he can't get a gank down bottom.
And the nice farming from them, particularly Vladimir. So Vladimir just power farming in this game has kept them in this. Ezreal has a huge advantage over the bottom lane. That's the big issue for them. Most of the rest of the game is pretty even, or even in Legion's favor. But that advantage, Leona actually coming in for the kill.
Nubish, there's the Q, looking for another stun, something, anything. But here comes One Bad Brad. He's not too far behind, but here comes Loud Mortis. He's got the ult is actually almost up. Probably's making his way down too. He's going to be extra mobile, trying to get down, trying to make something happen here. He could come in from behind, Riftwalk on in, get that wave. There you go. There's the silence down onto Parole. Graves ult not getting a whole lot. One Bad Brad and Zekin under tower. They're trying to defend, but they're saving time for the Ezreal to get out of there. One Bad Brad should be going down here. There you go. Probably grabbing that kill. Loud Mortis throwing down the ult just for safety, and Zekin not going to be able to do a whole lot.
I feel like he's throwing the ult for style points.
But Trixie is here, but very low. Man, I'm not quite sure why you're even showing your face. The egg is down. Did go down earlier. Demon Wall should be able to grab that. Very well done. I'm not sure why Trixie even showed up.
Kind of a misplay. And now Zekin, they could dive this as well. If Demon Law actually tanks the tower for a second, it is going down onto Loud Mortis, I believe. No, Prolly's got it, so that's fine.
There you go.
He can get out of there very easily, so they can pick up the kill. Vladimir, in the meantime, is top lane. Aurelia is coming
like
in
a
behind
boss.
him.
Cruiser's farming like a boss at the moment.
I think Aurelia has red buff. I think Aurelia still... No red buff, but he still has to worry for that kill potential.
There is the stun, going for the Blade Surge, and there is the ult immediately. Wants to get as much damage down as possible. Ult going down on Aurelia, but here comes Shen looking to help. Taunt going down through the pool.
Yeah, and I think Aurelia had it regardless, even without the help from Shen, but it would have been a little bit closer. So, Vladimir just kind of forcing him up there. As a result, they get the bot turret. They're fine. They have the farm advantage.
I didn't know Taunt worked on pool.
I don't think it did. I think he turned around.
No, he was definitely taunted in the pool.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice. So I didn't know that either. If you hit him before,
probably during the animation, probably.
Yeah, I thought he was already pulled. So I don't know. Yeah, if you hit him while he's pulling, then yeah, that could be the case.
Yeah, and there you go. There's the flash. Wants to get another kill down to Trixie. The egg is still not up. A little laugh in response as well.
Yeah,
Demon Lord's having a good time.
Yeah. So Legion, I mean, they've brought it back to even, and they were down 7-2. They were down a couple of dragons, but bringing it back to even. They are pushing this mid lane. They do have to worry about Ezreal, and that's the big thing. Ezreal has the Trinity Forest. He's so far ahead, but as long as they can get the Infinity Edge onto Graves, then it's going to be an even situation.
Martel doing a pretty good job pushing down top lane as well, and probably he wants this. He wants to engage. He wants to get some damage.
He just wants to slow him for Vladimir to get in.
There you go, Cruiser. Here we go. He's here, killed all the time necessary, but probably you can still close the gap. But unfortunately, the flash out. Martel should be fine for now. Ward going down as Legion's leaving enemy territory, looking to farm back up in mid. And now top's pushing and mid is pushing. So, we've got a little bit of a split push going on here. It'll be a little early than usually seen. But Probably's also looking down to rendezvous with the Nunu. Checking the Baron pit, just go through and looking to farm with the Wraiths as going back. And Cruiser's just really not being ignored here, but looks like 4Not, though, they're finally noticing, finally seeing what he's up to. Taunt going down just outside of tower range, though, but there you go. There's a lot
they just
of damage.
ignored the heck out of him.
And yeah, they were ignoring the heck out of him. And then they realized, oh, wait, there is Vlad, right there. We should probably do something about that. And so they did, but however, mid-turret is vulnerable.
They're not going to get it, though. They have to watch out for Leona coming in from the side. The ultimate on the Loud Mortis. He gets the flash out, but the slow actually already procced. He is barely able to get out of there. 4Not chasing him away.
But here, Probably is still around. Demon Well was pushing bot as well, looking to rejoin. And now 4Not's taking this opportunity to try and push down mid as much as he can. It's at about a third health. They could do something, but everyone's nice in a little clump here. Mortis with a good, actually no, his ult is down here, but probably with a ward, something, anything. Martel going straight on in. Demon Well being chunked out very quickly, but the rest of the team needs to catch up. There's a nice wall coming in from Trixie, and there you go. That is a dead Graves. And Cassidy does have to riftwalk over the wall to safety. Nice engage from 4Not.
Yeah, and they have the CC that they can win these matchups. It's just they have to watch out for that late game presence from both Vladimir and Kassadin. It's just so much damage. They have the burst potential where they can kind of sit back, play defensively, pick someone off. Yeah, so just back off for a second. But they can pick someone off. And, you know, one thing that Legion does a lot is kind of sit in the jungle. So if Mortis can clear out some of these wards, they can try and, you know, set up camp somewhere, try and pick someone off.
Right over the Riftwalk, over the wall. Does manage to get the sounds out of Martel, but will they manage to kill him before Shen comes in? No, that's not the case. Shen is here. One bad Brad is out in the mix. Ignite going down on the Cruiser, but he will be able to walk away. Nice quick kill from Legion, finishing the job of what they started earlier. Taunt not getting anything. Damage, slow, down to one bad Brad. Will it be enough, though? Here comes Zekin looking for the stun. Does not get anything on it. Mortis does get caught out, but the Cruiser there, he's got a fair amount of damage on his own. I'm surprised they actually did not get Brad on that.
Yeah, and this is actually probably going to be a Dragon for 4Not, so yes. they can go transition to the Dragon. Most of them are pretty low. They have to watch out for Demon Lull, but by himself, he's not going to do anything. So they're going to take it pretty easily with both Kassadin and Vladimir having to get back into base.
Demon Lull, he is pushing on mid, but here's the thing, you know, 4Not, they're taking the Dragon. Right now, Legion is really none the wiser. They'll get a rude awakening once they, you know, just go on through the pit, realize it's not there anymore.
I think they already know it's down, so.
Yeah, I think it's just could also just be acceptance, you know, the stages of what is it, you know, the stages of addiction, you know, denial. It's like, oh, I'm addicted to Dragon. Hey, need to take that thing. It's accepting the fact that you've lost it.
That's the stages of grief.
Grief. What? Grief? Yeah.
The stages of addiction are accepting you have a problem.
That's
right. Then, you know, apologizing to people that you've harmed.
That's right. You know, can you tell I've never really been to a rehab program?
Oh, I go to rehab all the time. It's fun. You get to be friends with everyone.
But then again, that's not something to gloat about, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Anyway, you still got Legion still here. The gold is still it's a pretty short margin. You know, granted, you know 4Not is grabbing the objectives they can when they can. Dragon was taken earlier. They got a nice little 2K lead, carve himself, but you know, based on these last few team fights, it's still very elastic. It still goes back and forth, and if anything's to be said from the last match as well, the comebacks, the potential is definitely here.
Yeah, no, it is a very even match. It's really anyone's game at this point, but 4Not, they have the initiation advantage and they have the CC advantage. So if they can, you know, chain stun them, they can control the fights very easily, and that's usually a winning factor. It's just that Legion's team, it's so survivable that they can kind of avoid that. They get the quick burst onto Parole, and that is awesome for Parali there.
That's huge.
To be able to just burst down Parole and get out alive against this CC team, that is massive.
That is definitely the power of Kassadin, though. You know, quick rift walk, and that's a lot. There you go, another chunk in. Parole back down to half. Nice wall from Trixie, though. But there you go, looking for the engage. I knew it was going to be the first one down. Oh, actually not. There you go. The Cruiser is also looking to try and get some damage down to Zekin. But in the meantime, shut down coming in from Kassadin. Gun managed to get the kill down onto Parole. Double kill. Going to be getting Brad as well. Martel is up still and alive. But you see, though, Aurelia getting the kill down onto Graves. Zekin taking out Cruiser as well. So far, it's a 2 for 3 in Legion. They do have to back off, but Prawley, he's still around. He's still dangerous. Nice, forcing the blade sword. Blade Swurge.
Aurelia is arguably too tanky for them at this point, and that's the really difficult part. So they have a double AP team, but health counters that out. And so Martel actually diving on the Prawley is able to get the kill. The Ignite takes him down.
Will happen, though, but the mutual Ignites will actually do it here. But that's the thing, though. Legion, they did get the assist on that exchange, so they did come out a little bit ahead, but then Trixie comes in and steals the blue, so kind of evens it out.
Yeah, and so the big thing is Aurelia is tanky enough that they can't instantly burst down Aurelia with all of their AoE. And then Aurelia has enough, you know, damage and enough gap closures and whatnot that she can just take down whoever she feels like. So, you know, for Legion to win these fights, they need to be able to keep up Graves, #1, because Graves is really the only one who can take down Aurelia for their team. So as long as Kassadin and Vladimir can take out most of the other team and they can get keep Graves alive, then they're going to be okay. And Demon Lull, that last fight, he had done a really nice job kind of kiting around for a while, but it was 3 people on top of him. So because Vladimir and Kassadin are kind of kiting around and, you know, juking back and forth, it leaves Graves vulnerable right out in the center, and there's no one to help support him.
So there's still plenty of opportunities here from both teams. But dude, look at Cruiser once again, sticking to what got him so far ahead in the first place, farming up top lane, pushing the wave, and that's, you know, definitely why he's actually, you know, I think he's actually got the most gold income in the game so far, 8K. Actually, no, that credit actually goes to Ezreal and Aurelia. But still, though, he's doing pretty well for himself, with the rest of his team. Cassidy doing, getting this farm up as well. He's got his Rod of Ages, looking for his death cap as well for all that extra damage. But Vlad, he's in a good spot, looking for the Woda. He's already got his death cap as well. He can output quite a bit, and the longer he stays in top lane, unchecked, getting free farm, the more dangerous he's going to become later on in this game.
I honestly, the more I see it, though, I really overestimated Legion's late game potential because they have a strong late game comp, but 4Not, they're just too tanky at this point. And Aurelia, is really tanky. And Nivea going with the Warbogs build, so Nivea is going to be almost unkillable too, which means that who do you assassinate with these ability power champions? It's really only Ezreal.
Yeah.
You can take down Ezreal, but then you're going to have to deal with all this follow-up damage, all this CC. So the fights are going to be extremely difficult for Legion. They have the benefit of being able to run extremely long fights. It's just that they don't have the burst potential that you would like to see.
So about how much, at what point then do you think Legion's late game set is actually going to come in here?
They're already into the late game, and it's not like there's not a point in time where they're going to naturally win this game. In order for them to win the game, they're going to need to have really nice fights and just not die in the fights. They need to use their survivability to just constantly drag out these really long fights where they can slowly wear down the opponents and then turn around. As long as they keep Demon Law alive and just have really safe long fights. The issue is Leona just engages so hard, though. It's hard to have long fights against a Leona.
This is true, and the ult is up. Also, you got the exhaust center we were talking earlier. The no real need for a flash here, but there is all this pressure coming from front. Trixie there with the ice wall and the ult, keeping Prawley still. They can defend these pushes, but only for so long. The pressure's a little bit too great. Not to mention, you also got Brad down bot lane, pushing on his own. He's got the split push. He does have the ult. He can just join whenever necessary. This is really rough to defend.
Yeah, no, it's tough. They don't have the best wave clearing potential. Cassidy chasing down Shen a little bit, but doesn't really have the power to force him out of lane. So Cassidy's basically going to have to sit down there. Leona stunning Vladimir. They might actually go in for this. The pool is down.
Pool does get used, and there's the Ezreal ult to just go ahead and clear, get a little bit of extra damage, get a little harassed. Does not actually clear the wave, but it's not really an issue. Aurelia has her ult for that as well, trying to get a little bit of extra damage here. Takes one quick turret shot, but Prawley is looking to rejoin with the rest of the team here in mid, and Legion may be looking to deflect this push. There's the Shirley's pop, and right now 4Not is looking to just get a nice little quick and easy retreat. Snowball from a distance actually does still manage to catch up Pearl, and Lattimore is caught out a little bit too far away from the rest of the team. Is looking to get chunked out. There's a Vlad ult going down. Zekin may actually be getting chunked out here as well. Martel split from the rest of the team, but Cruiser does manage to take out Pearl here, but Prawley will go down almost in the process. Does manage to rift walk away to safety. Lattimore's the ignite will not actually kill him, but there you go. Demon Will does manage to get the kill down onto Martel. And Brad, Zekin, and Trix are very low, but everyone from Legion is still up, albeit a little bit weak.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Legion needs. They need Demon Lull to survive. No one was able to get in on Demon Lull. They were able to pick off Parole, so that is massive for them. If they can kill Parole quickly, that's a huge win. Parole is actually going for a very tanky build as a result. He's building into a Frozen Mallet, but they can transition right up into the Baron. They should have enough time to take it down. I don't believe that Anivia will be able to stall this, or the rest of them when they come up, but they are very low. It is
Probably
going to be
don't be getting too close. You don't want to be taking that thing, brother. But Demon Lull, he'll be there. Probably don't die to this thing,
Demon Lull needs to tank it a little bit.
Yeah, without a Mortis, you can only do so much. Demon Lull, get in, be a man, tank that stuff. Will we actually be going down quick enough? There you go. Nice. Very well done. Legion with enough damage, and also the Ezreal wave could have actually killed probably.
Yeah, that's a massive turnaround for Legion, and just a beautiful, beautiful fight from them. Just constantly kiting around, and that's what they wanted to happen, is just, slowly wear them down. And,
nice.
They don't want to fight them head on. Vladimir, chasing out Anivia there. They weren't able to, 4Not wasn't able to focus anyone down, so that's the big concern for Legion. They can't allow 4Not to focus people down, but by splitting up, they were able to win that fight. Aurelia, and Nunu, I think they wasted a lot of abilities on Nunu too, so chasing down Nunu, he lived even, and Aurelia getting caught out of position as a result. Demon Lull just sitting in the back, he didn't have to worry about anything. He had not a care in the world, just attacking all the way.
I don't think Lattimore's even really had his ult up either, so it's just not really necessary. Just
I think it was up. It's just he didn't need to use it. Yeah. There was no one to use it on.
Good enough job playing the bait. Just you want to get Aurelia separated from the rest, get someone separated from the rest of the team. Got Aurelia in there, and they're able to just go ahead and take the fight onward. And then Prawley here, Level 17, he's doing pretty good for himself right now. But still, there's a lot more. There's a little bit more farm though for Aurelia, for Ezreal on 4Not. But the thing is though, with this Baron buff, Legion can definitely go ahead and start pushing objectives if they so desire. Nice little wave going down in mid. But that's the thing though, all the waves are nearly pushed to neutral at this point. So they're going to need to do some work to try and get everything in their favor. You still got about 2.5 minutes left on the buff if they want to go ahead and make plays on this.
Yeah, it's still going to be extremely difficult for Legion, even with the Baron buff. It's not like they instant win now. They still have to watch out because 4Not has a really strong team fight team. And as a result, Legion, they're not really pushing. Anivia can stall against any push forever. So, you know, just ad nauseum, it's not really an issue. But the big thing is Legion, the longer that fights last now, the more potential they have. And they have a little bit more damage, so they can burst down Ezreal. But if they can wear them down, they have the Soraka and they have the regen from the Baron buff, so they can have just these really long, slow fights.
Yeah, granted, you know, they may not be as tanky, but they do have a heals. Probably they're in response to the Ice Wolf getting a nice quick silence and burst damage down onto Trixie. But still, though, the push continues. Cruiser is now rejoining the rest of the team here in mid to see if they can get a little bit of an extra push going on. One Bad Brad is silenced over the wall from Prawley. And I think they're just going to go ahead and transition down to bot lane. They can take out the tier 2 pretty easy. You got like Lattimortis or Cruiser actually tank that thing, and yes, that is exactly what they're going to go ahead and do. Lattimortis out in front. That is a full turret that's going to be going down momentarily, and then the push will continue from here.
Yeah, they probably need to transition into the top lane, though, because Anivia can stall forever. Like, there's just no way for them to get past the Anivia, you know, with the blue buff even. So that's just going to be too difficult. Blue buff and the Chalice, there's no way to get past that. So they need to win a fight out in the open. But in the meantime, they can just keep all the lanes pushed, get that farm advantage, keep 4Not stuck in base, and then go and take this top tower, just tank it once again.
Yeah, and there you go, starting to make their way on up. There's the wave pushing on, and they should be cleared pretty easy. But here's Nubish out in front with the rest of the team, and they're actually going the long way down, possibly from behind, and actually going to catch someone off guard. There you go, Zegan out in front, melted immediately. There's the Anivia ult and the wall, but it's not going to be doing a whole lot. Martel there with the GA will be coming back in just a second, but I don't think they're going to get out of there alive. There's Lattimortis with the ult, keeping everyone still, and Demon getting that kill pretty easy. Nubish is in the back, though. Don't be going down, Soraka. We need you. There's the wish. Keeping her alive.
Beautiful play by Legion, and they recognize 4Not knew that Legion was going to transition into that top lane, so they get into the little crevice where you can't see them until you turn the corner. They pick off one kill, then picking up the Aurelia. Lattimortis just getting a little bit more damage with his ultimate, and so Legion, they know that they can't fight them out in the open, but they're able to pick them off out in the field. Really great job.
Lattimortis still tanking the turret continuously. One Bad Bread also gets caught out there with the snowball. He may actually be going down as well. There you go, Demon Wall grabbing that kill also. You know, carrying the team. The backpack is just, you know, not as heavy as it used to be. Demon Wall doing a pretty good job catching up all these kills, doing all the damage from the back lane. And inhibitor going down in top. Will 4Not decide to try and press this? No, probably will Riftwalk away. Baron buff is now gone. Baron should be respawning around the around a little bit between 37-38 minute mark as well. But everyone's back, happy with their performance. That's a lot of gold to be spending. Let's see what everyone's actually going to be getting. Void Staff for Cassidy finishing. Shirelli, double Shirelli is one on Nunu, one on Soraka. You got the Zonia's Hourglass down onto Vladimir as well. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of great stuff that Legion just go ahead and use and press and possibly win with another push or two.
Yeah, and it's been great play by Legion. So they always kind of try and pick people off, and it's worked. They're able to get a couple of kills there. With the inhibitor down, you know, they can set up at bot, and it doesn't really matter that Anivia can stall a wave because the top lane's pushing. So you can kind of work a little bit differently against that stall. They can still move back and forth between all the lanes since they don't want to just sit in one lane and, you know, be standing there doing nothing. And then if 4Not is kind of out of position, they can maybe pick up a kill here, pick up a kill there.
And probably was scouting out ahead just a little bit too far away. You need to rest your team in order to go ahead and do that safely. But now Legion, they're just scouting around, continuing once again, push the waves, use their advantage, and I think they're just killing time now until Baron comes back up again. You know, probably making a visit down towards bot lane, looking to push that wave as well, because all 4Not, all in Trixie with the rest of them, they're just looking to defend at this point.
Yeah, and so they can stall pretty easily, but you know, Legion, they're in a really nice situation. The Baron, you know, like you said, it will be coming up in another like 2 minutes, and then they can go get that. But you know, we'll see. The big thing is just keeping all the lanes pushed, and they have so much survivability, and with the Zonias on Vladimir as well, it's just really tough for 4Not to focus down one member like they need to. And I don't know, it's surprising. I mean, 4Not, they still should have the fight advantage, despite these advantages that Legion's been piling up, because 4Not just has, you know, such a tanky team, and they have so much upfront CC. But I don't know. The big thing is that they can now protect Demon Law a little bit better.
Legion needs to rendezvous with Probably, even though he's not too far away. Right now, they're stealing the red, and Trixie's out in front. There is the Wolf coming from Anivia, but there's the Nunu ult also as well. Latimore's grabbing the kill down onto Leona, but there you go. Probably joining the fight. Demon Law getting the kill onto Shen. I think this is pretty much it. Double kill for Demon Law. Trixie is egged. That is
wow.
An ace.
The AoE just absolutely obliterated them. And then Demon Law was perfectly safe in the background. They couldn't get into him.
And
the
that's
surrender.
a surrender. Legion winning the series 2-0 straight out. Fantastic job, guys. That was pretty impressive. There was a nice little deficit there, but they came back, and they came back big.
No ARAM, but Legion able to pick it up. So 2-0 over 4Not. Really nice play. They will be at face-off. So you know, San Francisco face-off, if you guys check it out. I'm really excited to see how they perform. It should be interesting. They need, they have a couple of set strategies that they've been using. They have, the Kennen mid. They have the Kassadin. These kind of strategies that they're known for. We'll see what else they can kind of pull out. Cruiser, he is a very versatile top lane, and he always seems very solid when I watch him play. So we'll see, how the rest can do.
I love. It's been a while too since we've seen Legion in a live environment, a live land environment as well. So, they don't get those opportunities very often, but be more than willing to provide. Hey, they earned it. They qualified. They got it. We'll be seeing them there. But also remember, we do have a Facebook contest going on right now. If you do, please visit our Facebook page. We are giving away a few $10 RP cards. It's just, you just got to scroll down the page. There's one link. Click it. It's really easy. You can just go ahead and win yourself a quick $10 worth of RP. And we will be back tomorrow morning. The IPL 5 qualifiers for Taiwan continues with the other side of the champ bracket, the other semifinal, Corsair versus TT Dragons. And then we got another NA show match for you tomorrow night. And we got a good week. We got a good week here going on. Granted, we got there's still a little bit of time before the next set of IPL 5 qualifiers, but might as well, in the meantime, give you some good matches, give you some good entertainment. This was definitely a fantastic match.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I was really excited to see both of these teams play. A couple of mistakes back and forth. They definitely need to crisp up their play a little bit, both of these teams. But, they're always fun teams to watch. They run interesting strategies. A number of them do stream, so, check them out if you get the chance.
Always support your favorite players. Watch their streams. Don't use ad blocker, please. A lot of these players, they do require that ad revenue to get by and do what they love.
Toast.
Sleep. Drink.
Well, why do they need it to sleep? I mean, I guess
you need a bed.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Or at the very least, like a coat to drape yourself in when you're on the floor. You know.
That's true.
It's true. It is. But I think we're pretty much done for now. Thank you guys for joining us on the IPL stream, and we will see you guys next time. Good night.
Good night, guys.